It's Friday, October 11, 2019, and I am once again aboard my 1972 Allied Princess 36 Ketch Sequester. Today I'm doing a few more winterizing steps as we get closer to haul out, which is this coming Tuesday, so I don't have much time. I'm glad I didn't try to schedule it for today though, because it's blowing hard out of the northeast, and right now it's probably 20 to 25 with gusts into the 30s, which is enough to really move the boat around quite a bit. And you can also hear the fenders as the boat works against them on the dock. So it's pretty blowy, and I certainly wouldn't want to try to haul out under these conditions, because there's a pretty good sized swell running in the harbor, which is fortunately reduced to almost nothing here at the marina. So today I've been doing a little work on the batteries. It turned out that flooded lead acid batteries pretty much die after only 10 years. Who would have thought? I have 4 Group 27 flooded lead acid batteries in my battery bank, in addition to another Group 27 starting battery. And the 4 batteries in the battery bank consist of batteries bought at 2 different times. 2 of the batteries were bought 10 years ago, and the other 2 are new. They're only 5 years old. What happened is the 2 old batteries had gotten pretty weak, and the last couple of nights that we spent on the boat, although they didn't put much load on the batteries, because we have all LED lights and everything, did put a continuous load of 2 or 3 amps on for about 8 hours, and that shouldn't have had any effect on a 400 amp hour battery bank, but unfortunately the old batteries drew down quite a bit, and that caused the newer batteries to dump power into the old batteries, and probably at pretty high amperage. And the result was that the 2 older batteries had nearly boiled dry by morning a couple of days ago. I woke up to a pretty strong battery acid smell in the boat, and after we went home for the day, I came back and checked the batteries and discovered the condition of the 2 front batteries. The 2 aft newer batteries were still okay. They weren't drawn down that much, but the older batteries had pretty much boiled dry. So I topped them back up with water, and they seem to be working okay now, but I suspect any load on them may cause the same thing to happen again. It's fortunate though that the boat will be out of the water in 4 days, and we won't have to worry about it. So we'll probably come on the boat for a glass of wine, maybe one more evening. I don't think anybody's going to spend the night on the boat again, and the season will be over, coincident with the death of 2 of my batteries. My battery issue reinforces the fact that with a battery bank, if you replace batteries, you should replace all of them with identical batteries at the same time. Because if you have older batteries and they give up, it's going to put a strain on the new batteries, and, as I saw, can boil the old ones dry. So, in my case, the reason 2 of the batteries are newer is that when I put electric winches on the boat, I didn't really have a good feel for how much power they were going to use, so I doubled the size of my battery bank by adding 2 batteries. My house batteries, the 2 older batteries, were in pretty good shape at that point, so I didn't think it was going to be an issue. But now, when the house batteries are 10 years old, it's turned out to be an issue. And so we're looking at probably replacing all 4 batteries next spring. So that'll be another little added expense to boat ownership. But hopefully they'll last for another 10 years, and by that time this boat probably won't be mine anymore. Okay, the only other thing I did today was to winterize my saltwater washdown pump, which is pretty easy. I just pulled the hose off the through hull that it connects to, stuck it in a jug of antifreeze, and ran the pump until antifreeze was coming out, shut it down, and it's done until spring. Put the hose, and obviously put the hose back on the Seacock. So that's it pretty much for today on this boat. I can't do the water system or the head yet because my wife wants to come on the boat for at least one more evening, have a glass of wine, and just sit and sort of enjoy being on the boat here at the end of the season. And I guarantee she will want to use the systems, so can't winterize them until after that. So that brings me to what's going to be going on with my channel in the future. Well, over the winter, not much boating stuff. I hope to be getting out to do a fair amount of walking in Acadia National Park, but that's going to be delayed until probably mid-November, because on the 21st of October, I have to have a hernia repair surgery, which is going to slow me down for a little while. They've told me that I can walk around, but they said to take it easy and not do anything particularly strenuous for at least 2 weeks. So, and I'll go along with that since they're going to cut a big hole down at the base of my gut. And I'm not looking forward to that very much. So the channel is probably going to be a little thin for the 2 weeks after the 21st of this month, until I can get out and get on my feet and start doing more. After that, well, hopefully some more Acadia National Park, Mount Desert Island in the fall and winter. And then next spring, more boating stuff. But there may be something else too. And that is that I have been thinking about buying a travel trailer. Now, why do I have an interest in a travel trailer? Well, my parents, when they retired, sold their house and bought a travel trailer and basically went full-time RVing for just over 20 years. And they traveled all over the country. I visited them a few times in various places during those 20 years, and got to travel with them a little bit. It was quite pleasant. At the time, the idea of a travel trailer didn't appeal to me that much, though, because it seemed like I'd just as soon sleep in a tent. But now, as I start looking 70 years old in the face, I'm not so keen on sleeping on the ground in a tent. And the idea of having a bed and a bathroom and a few little amenities is a lot more appealing than it was 35 to 40 years ago. So that may be in my future. I've been looking at travel trailers, and frankly the new ones are outrageously expensive in my opinion. The ones I like are in the $40,000 range for a not particularly big travel trailer. And that just seems like too much money to me. So what I think I'm probably going to do, assuming I go ahead and buy a trailer, is buy an older used trailer. Probably something in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 years old. And I'm going to then rebuild the trailer just like I rebuilt Tortuga, my 1936 wooden boat. And I hope to be able to take you people along with me in that rebuild project. And I'm not talking a minor rebuild here. My research has shown that the build quality of most travel trailers is terrible. I mean, they're held together with staples or tack welds, and they're built very quickly without a whole lot of quality control, and they have a lot of problems. So my plan when I buy this old and presumably cheap trailer will be to gut the trailer, empty out the interior completely, probably rip out the interior walls, take the whatever flooring there is right down to the base, and If there's particle board or OSB in the floor, I'll rip that up and replace it with quality materials and completely rebuild the interior of the trailer at boat standards to suit me, not to suit some hypothetical RVer, which will result in a very, very different sort of trailer than most people see. And I'm also going to do some other things if I do it. For example, I intend to take the roof off. Trailers basically usually have a OSB with a rubber membrane contact cemented onto it as the roof, held up by relatively flimsy trusses. So my thought is, well, why don't I do what I did on Tortuga when I rebuilt the cabin house? I'll laminate cabin top beams, probably do the inner layer of the cabin top with tongue and groove fir beadboard that I'll pre-paint, and then on top of that put down several inches of foam, and then lay down a layer of plywood, but not cheap OSB, marine grade plywood, and then epoxy fiberglass over that to make it completely waterproof and bulletproof top for the RV. And basically build a quality RV, because at least to me my labor is free, and if I dump 1,000 hours of labor into it, I should be able to produce a pretty nice travel trailer with all new systems, all wired to marine standards, no fuse boards, put in all circuit breakers, put in all quality components, marine AC/DC refrigerator, a big solar array on the roof to provide enough power for that, good sized battery bank, and if I'm feeling flush, maybe even lithium batteries, and basically build what I think of as a nice trailer. Now, this is probably going to cost me a little money, but I'm not that concerned about that. This is a toy, and my view of toys is that the money you spend on them is gone when you spend it. I don't expect to recover it. If at some point I do sell the trailer and get some of it back, well, that's fine. That can go to the next toy. But if I don't, well, too bad. Not a big deal. So anyway, that's a potential for starting next spring. After I finish my boat work, start tinkering with a travel trailer, and I will video the entire rebuild process and put it here on the channel. Or perhaps I'll even start a new channel specific to that rebuild, and with a more appropriate name than just my name. But you people who are with me now will certainly know where to find that channel. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. If it interests you, please let me know in the comments, and I'll respond to any comments you make, as I always do. So, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you found my content interesting today. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel so you'll get updates on what's coming down the pipe. And basically, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.